Life doesn't ask permission before it changes. It doesn't knock politely on your door before rearranging everything you thought you knew. No, life barges in. It bends the road you're on, shifts the ground beneath your feet, and it looks at you without apology as it asks, "What are you going to do about it?" And here's the truth. The people who win in this world aren't the ones with the biggest muscles, the most money in the bank, or the most degrees on the wall. They're the ones who can take what life throws at them and adapt. Because life is not predictable. It's certainly not neat or orderly. Those who cling to what was, or get angry when life deviates from how it was supposed to be, well, they get left behind. But on the other hand, those who bend and shift and move with the chaos, they are the ones who rise. Like so many of us, I've learned this the hard way. I used to think if I planned enough, prepared enough, if I controlled enough, I'd be safe. But life doesn't reward control, it rewards flexibility. I look back at jobs that ended, friendships that dissolved, unexpected detours. Every time, I thought, this must be the end. But it never was. It was always some sort of beginning. The moment I let go of what I thought should happen, the moment I stopped demanding life play by my rules, well, that was the moment I started to find freedom. Because life, obviously, does not care about my rules. It's interesting. You know, Darwin, who we all know from grade school, he did not coin the term survival of the fittest. That was Herbert Spencer, later. What Darwin really said was, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most adaptable to change. And I think about the importance and the weight of the ability to be agile, to evolve with the circumstances in your environment. Think about it. Entire species disappear because they just couldn't adjust. Entire industries collapse because they couldn't evolve. And the same is true for us individually. Adaptability in a luxury. It's not a nice to have, it's survival. It's the growth of success, of life itself. I want to share a story that exemplifies this. I first heard it maybe a decade ago on a podcast, and it stuck with me. It's the battle between Blockbuster and Netflix during a very transitory time in the digital space. At the height of its power in the early 2000s, Blockbuster was unstoppable. If you're my age, you remember how awesome it was going to Blockbuster on the weekend. I mean, that was peak living. Pizza and Blockbuster. They had over 9,000 stores, millions of customers walking in every weekend. They were the kings of entertainment. But then, a small company called Netflix started mailing DVD discs to people's homes. No late fees, no trips to the store, just convenience delivered right to your door. And the critical part is, as Netflix went on this venture, they kept adapting. They moved from mail to streaming. They were looking ahead, while everyone else was, at best, stuck in the present moment, sometimes even looking back. They asked, how is the world changing? And then they moved with it. Blockbuster did not. They laughed at the idea. In fact, Netflix once offered to sell themselves to Blockbuster for $50 million, and Blockbuster turned it down. Today, Netflix is worth billions, and Blockbuster is no more. To me, it is the quintessential story of adaptability. It's the difference between thriving and disappearing, between leading and becoming a memory. The ones who adapt don't just survive, they define the future. On a personal level, most of us are running billion-dollar companies, but we are all navigating a life that doesn't go as planned, the relationship that ends, the job that disappears, the health scare that comes out of nowhere, the opportunity that arrives when you least expect it. These are curveballs, and in those moments, the question isn't, did I have a perfect plan? The question is, here's the situation. Can I now adjust? That's everything. Can you take what's left and work with it? Can you still find a way forward? Because if you can, there's nothing you can't handle. Adaptability is a superpower. It means no matter what comes, you're not defined by circumstance. You're defined by your response. You're not chained to what you lost. You're empowered by what you can build. You're not afraid of change. You are fueled by it. When you're adaptable, the world becomes an ally instead of an adversary. Obstacles become teachers. Setbacks become merely points to pivot. And endings become new beginnings. It's a game I've had to play many times in the storytelling, podcasting, and media space, and it's one I'm playing now. How do we evolve with the times, with the changing landscape? I'll give you a quick example. On YouTube, I used to write 3-minute speeches. They were essentially songs. I'd write the background music. There'd be a slow beginning, a middle, and then a crescendo. And for a while, it worked. Then the media landscape and the algorithms changed. Podcasting started blowing up. People wanted to put headphones on and walk for an hour, run for 2 hours, listen on their way to work. It was like, listen, if you do and learn to adapt your style and figure out how to entertain and captivate an audience over a longer period of time, you're going to lose. And that was the first time where it was like, all right, as a writer, as a creative, as a speaker, you got to figure it out. That was scary. The safety nets I thought I had disappeared. I wanted to resist and fight the change. I wanted to scream, this isn't fair. But what good is resistance when the world has already moved on? The road had already bent. The question was, would I bend with it? Once I did, I found opportunities I never would have seen. Doors I never would have knocked on suddenly opened, because what happens when you adapt? You stop clinging to the door that closed and you start noticing the doors that are open all around you. The world is changing faster than ever. Tech, culture, the economy. What worked yesterday won't work tomorrow. That saying, what got you here won't get you there. The people who thrive in this world aren't the ones waiting for things to go back to normal. They're the ones creating a new normal. They're the ones that can wake up every day and say, I don't need to be perfect. I don't need it to go my way. But whatever comes, I will find a way through. That is the edge. That is the advantage. So, I'll sum it up with this. You have infinite upside and opportunity. There is a world laid out for you beyond comprehension. But we need to adjust the mindset. Don't pray for a smooth road. Don't hope life stays the same, because it won't. Instead, build the muscle, the resilience, the superpower, the ability to adapt, to bend without breaking, to shift when life shifts. Because if you can do that, you are unstoppable. Maybe not the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest, but the one who can take what life throws and make it fuel. Blockbuster didn't fail because it was small. It failed because it refused to change. Netflix didn't succeed because it was invincible. It succeeded because it was looking forward, because it adapted. That can be your story, too. Not that you had an easy road, but that you had the courage, the flexibility, the adaptability to rise no matter what. Remember, life is not about having perfect plans. It's about finding a way, finding a response to whatever shows up. And the greatest response you'll ever give is simple. I will adjust, I will adapt, and I will rise. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. It really helps us grow. We'll see you in the next one.